Hello, ladies and gentlemen in my classroom. So, basically, today we have to talk about something that is inspirational to us. And the big thing that is very inspirational to me ever since I was in high school was pop punk music. Now, a lot of people really don't understand what pop punk music is. Basically, pop punk music is something that it's basically something that literally it's basically Sum 41, Blink 182, All Time Low, music that has basically transcended from original rock music. The reason why it's so inspirational to me is every time that I listen to it, I get this warm feeling in my heart. Um, I also get these I also get these tingles that go right down my ears, all the way down my spine. And it especially happens with this band called All Time Low. Now, All Time Low has been a huge part of my life ever since I was a freshman in high school. So let's rewind about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was 14 and I was first listening to this music. And the first time I ever listened to it, I didn't understand what I was listening to. I was very confused and I was very excited because I had listened to it before and it didn't really do anything for me, but in that moment, in that exact moment, I felt something inside me that I'd literally heard this before and it meant so much to me. Over the years that passed, I would continue to listen to them all the time, and even now I listen to them. I listen to All Time Low more than I listen to anything else now. Mainly because I'm just so dedicated to the music that I listen to. It basically, All Time Low created this rift in my music genres that just no other band really has done. Basically, they just created this huge, broad genre that I just continuously investigate and find out more about. Um, for example, I have them all here. That's when you know I have a problem with just listening to them. They came out with Unplugged, MTV Unplugged, and when they came out with this was the very first time that I'd actually seen the band live, and I watched it, and you can tell how ripped and torn the sides are. I listened to this so many times that the CD doesn't even work anymore. The DVD is the only thing that works. Same with the original first DVD that they came out with. They came out with their, and again with this one, it's so tattered and broken. With this one, basically, they came out with a DVD. It's a short mockumentary about what life was like being all time low. And when they came out with this, again, burned through that DVD. I don't even think that the CD's even in here anymore. Burned through it, and the CD doesn't work anymore, but the DVD does. And I've watched this DVD so many times I can't even count. Sometimes it would be on bad days, some days it would be on good days, because All Time Low not only was good for me, but it also really made me feel better when days were really rough. Mainly because I related to the lead singer. The lead singer, Alex, had really, really bad anxiety. And growing up, I didn't know what it meant to have anxiety until I listened to their music. And then I started understanding, like, that pain in my chest that I get when I talk to people, or like the hard conversations that I try to have with people, it all is just anxiety. And their song, Weightless, there's a specific line in that song that just resonates with me specifically, and it's maybe it's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year. I'm so sick of walking. Nope, I don't even have the right words to it. So it's the line goes, maybe it's not my weekend, but it's gonna be my year. Now, that line in itself just says, like, a lot. It's saying, like, maybe this weekend is not gonna be the weekend that I'm having a good day. Or maybe this weekend my anxiety takes over everything. But this year is going to be the best year of my life. And next year is going to be the best year of my life. And every year after that. Not just this weekend coming up, but like everything that happens in my life is going to be so much better than this day itself. And they've done that for so many people. Like, their music has transcended this crazy amount of um, their music has transcended this crazy audience, and it has helped so many people. Like, I have my own Nothing Personal tattoo from their very first album because of how much it meant to me, because of how much Therapy, how much Weightless, how much These Walls, how much all of their music just meant so much to me. Especially growing up with anxiety and growing up with all of these feelings that I didn't understand. I mean, as a teenager, we don't understand our feelings to begin with, but like having anxiety on top of that made things really difficult. And, you know, growing up with that, you don't really understand what's going on and you don't really have anybody to turn to. But this music turned into like a really great outlet for these people, and especially for me. Like, I had no one that understood what anxiety meant besides my dad. And my dad still didn't really understand how to explain it to me. So I just turned to the music, and the music described everything I was feeling. And then they came out with, after they came out with Straight to DVD, they came out with Straight to DVD 2. This one means a lot to me as well, mainly because of one song called Missing You. Now, if we're being honest, I've had my share of drug problems, and I've had my share of addiction problems. And there's a couple lines in that song that just meant a lot to me, especially at that time that it was happening. I had just decided that I wanted to sober up. I had just decided that I wanted to, get rid of every negative influence in my life, and I wanted to start trying to be a better person. And I was listening to something on Facebook, and then this promo came up for their CD, and I was all excited because I didn't even know that they came up with a new CD. And I heard the song Missing You for the first time. And there's a line in Missing You, and it goes, I heard that you've been self-medicating in the quiet of your room, your sweet suburban tune, and if you ever need a friend, I'll help you stitch up your wounds. Now, that line alone stuck to me mainly because, like, I had been coping with trying to stop doing drugs. And when I finally quit and I finally got out of it, that song came out, and it was talking about, sitting in the back of your room and doing drugs, and like, I'm here to help you. And people that have gone through addiction understand, like, you need an army to tackle this together, because, like, you can't just do it alone. And then further on in the song, he says, you've got yourself all cleaned up, but you've made a mess again. There's no more time to sort these things out. So, basically, to make this long story short, I relapsed, and I went back to those things. And when I went back to those things, it made things really difficult for me to kind of bring things back to center. But I'd keep going back to the song and remembering, like, hey, you make mistakes. You've made mistakes, but you will always come back from those mistakes, and you will be a better person. If there's anything that you get from my presentation on the things that inspire me, look up All Time Low. Look up the band Neck Deep. I know I didn't talk about them much, but they also helped a lot. The song Wish You Were Here that they made, which is in no relation to Pink Floyd, but it's very good and very heartfelt about this guy's dad. They talk about real problems and real things that have happened to them, and things that, you wouldn't expect songs to have these days. And they've always had a special place in my heart, and they've always had a special place in my head, because I've been through so many things that I can't even count. I've been through a lot of life, even though I'm only 24, but I've come to realize that life isn't really forgiving. Life just keeps throwing you different things, and life won't stop. And it's all about the people that we meet along the way that will help us be better people. And All Time Low taught me that, and taught me how to cope with my anxiety. And that's why I find them inspirational. I still listen to them today, and I've seen them so many times. I've been on their radio show, I've done stuff with them, and I love them. And they might be a little band from 2009, but I absolutely adore them. And I will keep listening to them until they're gone. Well, that is my presentation on what is influential to me. Thank you for watching, and please leave some commentary in the bottom to tell me how I did. Thank you.